Soul Center, Orange County. Glad to be back here. You know, I bring you greetings from Agape International and River Michael and all the ministers and practitioners there. Freedom. You know, I'm doing a lot of work with myself. Well, what I'm really doing is surrendering to God and let it do its work and getting out of the way here. And what I'm realizing in a deeper way is that I can really not know the fullness of God or any of its qualities. Freedom is a quality of God. And so I stopped the need of knowing and began making myself available to these qualities. Because see, I realized that the Creator is the knower and the creation gets to experience this knower. And so I'm so grateful and thankful that I am this creation that has so much to experience now. One of the things that have been brought to my attention is to begin knowing what it is that I believe is the Creator. One of the laws of the universe is mentalism, and it asks me to know that it's done unto me as I believe.
Yes.
See? It's done unto me as I believe. Not as my mother or father, my ministers or presidents, or it's done unto me as I believe. So with that knowledge, it behooved me to begin really taking a deeper look at what do I believe? How many of you really know what you believe? You see? Sometimes. Because when that law goes into effect, then I get to experience what it is I believe. I can say what I want to say about what it is I believe. But life has this uncanny way of showing me what I believe. You know? And so therefore, you know, there's this checks and balance thing. You know, okay, I'm saying this, but this is happening over here. So I'm taking a deeper look at who I am, my purpose of being here, which I can never know, because I'm coming to the realization that my purpose is revealing itself in every moment.
Yes.
You see? And that purpose wouldn't really be fulfilled until I'm probably taking my last breath in this form. Because it's always revealing the expansion, extension, and evolution of this life.
Yes.
I have to accept that this is not my life. This is the life of the Creator, of which I get to experience. Now that took a whole lot of pressure off, because I've been trying to figure out what is this life. Now that I accept that it is the life of the Creator, I can let go of all of my thinking now. You see, I was sharing with sharing with Jeff here. I have a 5-step practice now that I have in place. The first 2 are acceptance and allowance, of which I'll speak on today. The other 3 are trust, take no thought, and have no judgment. Now, practicing that, keeping that at the forefront of my focus, I get to realize how much things are the way they are behind the practice of my beliefs. One of the things that becomes more apparent is that how special I made my beliefs. How many identify with that? You see. And in the making my beliefs special, I realized that with that specialness, there comes some other energy. like protection, like separation. You see. So, and there's more. When I really started looking at that, I started having compassion in the world. Because the world does nothing but make things special. This is my country, that's yours, and this is mine. All of these things that have been made up to bring about the separation.
Yep.
You see. So, it doesn't serve me to go out trying to tell everybody that. What I'm coming to realize is that it's more valuable to be an instrument, an example of that. You see. Because I live in a world today that people are not too much listening to what I have to say. They're watching me. I can identify with that.
Yeah.
They're watching. You see. And they will lean more on their perception of what they're watching than whatever truth that I may have said that was taking place. It's this type of activity in my experience that really leads me into letting go of thought. Because I don't know enough to know what's going on and for what reason it's going on. You see. Because see, my judgment will then totally put me somewhere in the back seat of which I have no control, don't need any, but I'm totally lost in my thinking because I don't know enough. My practice of acceptance and allowance has really deepened this walk. I get to accept now that God is all that there is. There is no other life. And this life has no oppositions. So there's nothing to be afraid of. There is no fear. And if I'm experiencing fear, I'm making it up. See? That is the power bestowed upon the creation. I have the power of volition to choose and make up anything I want. But when I'm being truthful to myself, I'm seeing what I'm believing, what I'm making, and the effects of it in my experience. See? This that I'm experiencing, I made up. A creation of the Creator can never be a victim. See? There's always purpose of being wherever I find myself. So if I'm experiencing pain, and whatever else I may be experiencing, I realize that it asks me to take a look at what was my perception of what just took place. Because in the realization of that, it wasn't the thing that is causing this experience, it's my perception of it.
Yes.
And that's a beautiful thing today. Especially when knowing the power, that has been bestowed upon the creation. Perceptions I can change. I may not be able to change that experience. It wouldn't need to. Because that experience is conveying all the information that I need to know that brings it about, that gives me the opportunity to change now. Changing is surrendering for me now. Again, I'm not going to take thought about how this change should happen, or even to go about it. I know there's one that's necessary, so let me make myself available to it and become its instrument. Instead of me sitting back, meditating on, how should I change this? How can I be different? I'm coming to the realization when things are in divine order, there's a purpose of me being exactly where I'm being right now.
Yes.
See? And because everything is in a divine order under the work of intelligence, wisdom, and knowledge, there's nothing for me to be guilty or shameful for. I watched a powerful movie over the weekend called The Shack. Anybody seen that movie?
Read the book.
You read the book?
Read the book.
This movie was a confirmation for me. And I say it was a confirmation because it was showing me everything that I'm practicing at this particular time is what's really being elevated in a way far beyond my imagination. I'm not the only one. See, this thing that is moving through me is obviously moving through many. And what I'm realizing is that it's being said, so I don't have to go out and say it. It's being revealed, so I don't have to go out and reveal it. All it's asking me is to not just be. See? Just be that is seeking to emerge, that eyes have not seen and ears have not heard. And once I come to the realization that this is the activity of God, this is the activity of love, it's asking me to accept that, accept it. Accept that God is all there is. And there is nothing else. Then moving to the next step of allowing the activity of God to take place through me, as me, and all about me.
Yes.
See? What else could there be but the activity of God? See? I had to let go of what I think that activity should look like. See? I had to let go of what I think love should look like, peace should look like, joy. All these qualities have been asked to let go of what I think that they are. And then let them reveal themselves.
Yes.
You see? Let them reveal themselves. There has been great peace that has come out of seemingly traumatic experiences. How many identify with that? See? And I'm not saying that I have to go through the traumatic experience to have that peace.
Yeah.
You see? But yet, I don't have to be blameful or fearful that these things have taken place in my experience. I can sit back and realize and trust God to know that they took place for a purpose. Every experience that I've ever had, that I can ever remember, I'm starting to see its value now.
Mm-hmm.
Even those painful ones.
Yes.
See? Even those moments when I realized that this is not what I heard, this is not what I wish, this is not what I want. Yet, I had to come to that acceptance of, this is what is.
Yeah.
This is what is. How many are having a hard time accepting what is? Hard time accepting what is taking place because I realize that what makes it hard for me is my judgment.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right.
You see, it makes it hard when I'm in judgment. What was powerful about this movie, there was a moment that where, the main character was faced with a character portraying wisdom, and the person was really wanting to just be free. And the wisdom character gave it an opportunity to stop judging. Stop judging the terrorists, stop judging whoever one may judge. Stop. How many in here are seeking peace? How many would love to see peace in the world? How many have come to realize that it's my judgment that is keeping me from peace? So if I have countries judging other countries, what are we going to get out of this? See? But what I've come to realize is that I cannot stop the governments and everything to do what they're doing. I just need to stop me.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to take a deep look at where am I still judging. And forget about judging things on the outside. Where am I still judging me?
Yeah. Yes.
Where am I not accepting me as I am? See? Where do I find myself sometimes wishing I was something else? See? Because for me, I've come to realize that when I was having that experience, it wasn't too joy-filled.
No.
Feeling, lonely,
Right.
Now I spend a lot of time by myself today, but I realize I'm not alone.
Right.
You see? I've spent more time with myself lately than I've ever spent with myself. And when I come to realize it was necessary for me to have that experience. Because I walked around many times not knowing who I was. See? I walked around realizing that I thought I needed to be a part of the world. And when I got still, I began hearing, you're in this world, Ron, but you're not of it. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? That I'm in it, but not of it. Well, that was the message that I needed to hear to really take an opportunity to find out who it is that I'm saying that I am. But before I got there, I had to find out who it is I was saying the Creator was, since I'm just His creation. You see? And that takes me back to that belief. What it is that I'm saying the Creator is my strong founded belief that gives me an opportunity to become more than I've ever known myself to be. This is a total surrender. How many in here are still trying to make things happen? Right. Still in here trying to make things happen when there's an energy, there's a force, there's a power that has created the whole universe and all of its galaxies. Keeps it all in perfect harmony and peace. What keeps me from trusting that?
Right.
See? These are the things that I contemplate today. What keeps me from being what the Creator created? Well, I realized there was a lot of times when I'm trying to make it in the world, and hear this one word, trying.
Right.
Anybody knows me, that's one of my pet peeves that I say. When you're trying, I know where you are. I'm in my head.
Right.
It doesn't know enough.
Right.
You see. Yet, as this creation, I get this opportunity to make myself available to that knows everything.
Right.
How peaceful am I when I realize that I can just sit here and relax. If I need to know anything at any given time, I need to just make myself available to God.
Yes. Yes. Peaceful.
See? And now when I'm making myself available to God, I'm making myself available to all of God that shows up in form. You see? And I realized through my own process that there has never been anything wrong with anything that has ever taken place.
Right.
Nothing has been wrong. And the moment I let go of it being wrong, there was another experience of freedom. Another level of freedom, let me say that. Now I get to accept my Father being who He was in my experience. For a long time, I didn't accept that. See? I can even accept the parts that my siblings are playing in my experience today. Because they're giving me an opportunity to not judge them. We're laughing, so I'm being identified with it. They're having siblings that a little bit that we're still judging and wishing they would be something else. This is what I realize is the information that's necessary for me to become more of what the Creator has created. Not those moments where I'm always comfortable. Not that moment when everything is always going the way I think it should go. But when those moments when my feelings and emotions arise, can I be what the Creator created?
Yes.
Can I be that place of peace? Can I reveal freedom in showing you that what you just said doesn't affect me?
Yes. Yes.
You see? How many can use that vibration.
Yes.
Not being affected by what people, places, or things say or don't say, do or not do.
Yes.
See? When I say freedom, it's that quality that I just make myself available to, and I realize that when I accept that God is all that there is, then there is more freedom than I can ever imagine that's taking place. And when I'm free, I can let all those around me to be free. But when I'm not, I got people locked up. I got things locked up. You see. So the world is seeking peace, but I'm locking myself up. Allowance. When I love God, it's asking me to allow it to be now. Now that's sometimes threatened, that ego, because the ego doesn't know what God's intention is. You see? But this is where I'm to have dominion over this thing called an ego, which my practice is I don't believe exists. Yet it is an experience I won't deny. But I get this opportunity now to put things in its rightful place. God is all there is, and it has no opposition. There's nothing against it. So if I'm operating from a place that I believe there are enemies, there are threats, I need to take a look at what part of me is believing this. See? Because a lot of times when one believes it to be an ego, the conversation stops there. When it's so much deeper. You know? It's so much deeper to know that there's a part of me that believes something that brings about this experience that I'm having. And it's coming about to give me the opportunity to go deeper, remembering the truth of my divinity. Now that I know that I am not separated from the Creator, I get to realize that there's power within me that overcomes or puts things in its rightful place, trusting that everything is in a divine order. There's no mistakes these things are happening in my experience. There's no mistakes that I'm feeling the way I feel. You see. And the moment I accepted that is the moment I began experiencing a greater level of freedom. See. Freedom is this thing that is happening. It's this thing that knows exactly what needs to be. It's being operated by intelligence. So it's something that I don't have to go out and try to define and then operate from this definition that I have stored in my mind. I can make myself available to it and be open to experience it without threat.
Yes.
Of Course in Miracles says, what's real can't be threatened. What's unreal doesn't even exist.
Right.
Herein lies the peace of God.
Yes.
You see. If I'm choosing to experience the peace of God, I have to take a look at what part of my play that's creating the block. You see. The Course is also teaching that it cannot teach the meaning of love, but it can give an opportunity to remove the blocks to it. You see. I have to take a look at where am I putting blocks in the place of love. Because if I'm putting a block in the place of love, what do I think someone that doesn't even have the practices that I'm having that are dealing with these threats? See? Choosing to love is probably the greatest act of freedom that I could ever give myself. Trusting that it not only have my best interest at hand, but it has everyone's best interest at hand. It is something that is already taking place. It is something that is already being. There's not 2 iotas that I can add to it and make it better. It's asking me to trust it. How many are still maybe having trust issues? And am I having this issue behind an appearance? A judgment? Because if I didn't have the judgment, or if I didn't perceive it in a way that didn't allow me to experience the freedom of it, would it ever be? Because being as the Creator created me to be, I'm already free. See, I'm already peace. I'm already love. I'm already joy. I'm already these things, these qualities, because I am what the Creator is. Can I accept that and allow that to be in every creation? Or am I judging creations by their looks, by their behaviors, where they came from, what they have or don't have? Am I judging them behind what they have done or didn't do, what they said or didn't say? And is this judgment keeping me separated from them when my heart is saying, I'm ready for peace? I'm ready to experience the fullness of this life. I'm ready to even accept this fly that is running around my head. You know, that just tells me again, all is God.
Yes.
See, all is God. Can I accept that? Or am I still struggling with my belief systems that have created the blocks to love's presence? The opportunity is always before us. I love God because God is always creating that opportunity for me to set myself free. See, I realize that the Creator has created everything that needs to be created. Nothing else needs to be created. All I have to do is make myself available to what is created and live from that place. Because whatever the Creator created, it created from love.
Yes.
When I accept that love is all that there is, I get this opportunity to move beyond my pissosity.
Yes.
At times. Knowing that there is something for me to get, and I'm still walking around. I know that this is divine.
Yes.
God is all that there is. Trusting that is all that's being asked. Letting that happen, letting it be, is more enjoyable than anyone could ever imagine.
Yes.
Loving all of God's creation is the opportunity that I believe everyone has called for. Every creation is seeking to be loved. Standing in the truth that God is all there is. I'm free to be
Yes.
as God created.
Mm-hmm.
And so it is.
And so